You ever pick up a new product and just think, wow, did anyone actually use this thing before shipping it? It's a super common feeling, right? Well, today we're going to dig into why that happens so often. We're talking about the incredible power of listening and why the customer's voice isn't just background noise. It's pretty much the most important signal any business can possibly get.
But seriously, think about it for a second. We see it all the time, don't we? A new app that makes things more complicated, or a feature that absolutely nobody was asking for. Companies have mountains of data these days, so how does so many of them still miss the mark by a mile?
Well, the answer is kind of brutally simple, and it's probably not what you're thinking. It's not about a lack of brilliant ideas or a tiny marketing budget. Nope. The one single, often fatal flaw is that organizations just stop listening. They completely lose the signal from the very people they're supposed to be serving. To really understand why this happens, we've got to look inside the company itself. And that brings us to our first stop, getting trapped inside the silo. Let's talk about the organizational echo chamber.
So what in the world is this silo mentality? Okay, imagine a company where the marketing team has no clue what engineering is working on. And the sales team, they're hearing all this great feedback from customers, but they're not telling anyone. See what happens? Each department becomes its own little island, just hoarding its own information. And the big picture? It just gets totally lost in the fog.
And this is where it gets really dangerous. This quote just nails it. They always think in silos and think their products and services are the best. It's this kind of corporate arrogance that settles in. I mean, when you're only listening to the people in your own echo chamber, it's pretty easy to convince yourselves you have all the answers, even when customers are screaming the opposite.
You know, this really boils down to two completely different ways of looking at the world. On one side, you've got your silo thinking. It's totally inside out. The company focuses on itself, assumes it knows best, and pretty much rejects any feedback from the outside. But the other way, the customer-centric way, is outside in. It starts with the customer, goes out looking for their needs, and actually changes based on what it learns. It's the difference between shouting at your customers and having a real conversation with them.
Okay, so we've seen the problem, being stuck in that silo. So how do you break out? Well, that leads us right to our next section, the customer's vital echo. This right here is the essential key to success.
Turns out, the secret to success isn't much of a secret at all. The marketplace is practically shouting a super clear message. You have to listen. And this isn't just, a nice suggestion. In today's world, it's basically a requirement for survival.
And this whole strategy actually has a name: customer centricity. All it means is that the customer isn't just a number on a spreadsheet. No, they are the very center of your universe, the starting point for every single decision you make. From what you build to how you answer the phone, everything, and I mean everything, revolves around them.
But here's the thing, just listening isn't enough. You can't just collect feedback and let it sit there. It has to go somewhere. It has to do something. That's why we're going to talk about the cycle of improvement and how to turn that customer echo into actual fuel for your business.
So how does this actually work? Well, it's a system, right? A continuous loop that never stops. Step one, obviously, is you listen. You really listen. But then, and this is crucial, you analyze what you heard. Then you use those insights to make real changes. After that, you measure to see if it worked. And then, here's the most important part. You do it all over again. It never ends, because your customers and their needs are always changing.
And that's really the big idea here. This loop isn't some one-time project you can just check off a to-do list and say, we're done. No way. This is the engine of the whole company. It's what turns all that raw feedback into high-octane fuel, driving real, sustainable growth, and keeping you perfectly in tune with the people you're trying to serve.
All right, so we've talked about the big ideas. Now it's time to bring this all back home, right back to you. We're going to wrap up by asking what might be the most important question of all.
So let's just quickly boil it all down. What are the big takeaways? First, when a company fails, it almost always starts with a failure to listen. Second, that silo mentality is toxic. It's an echo chamber that blocks out the customer's voice. Third, listening isn't a nice to have, it's absolutely essential for success. And finally, that feedback is the fuel for a powerful, never-ending cycle of getting better.
And that brings us right to our final thought, a question for you to take with you. It really doesn't matter if you're running a massive global corporation or a small coffee shop on the corner. The principle is exactly the same. So I'll just leave you with this. What is your customer's vital echo trying to tell you? And maybe more importantly, are you really listening?